I just wanted to go over this presentation since last night I had some technical difficulties, and I also wanted to get this out to parents who couldn't make it, and just kind of go over everything, and also I tweaked a little bit of some of the slides. So if you looked at this previously, some things might have changed, but for the most part, it stayed relatively the same. As in the previous email you got, you could scan this QR code on this page to load this presentation at any time, and you can also click the link to view the syllabus. I would really like it if you filled out this quick little parent info form, just so I can have more info about you and your child that I'll be working with all year, not child, young adult. You'll see this message kind of plastered throughout this presentation, so kind of trying to kind of drill it in your heads a little bit. So let's go. About me. I like to do a little bit about me so you know who's teaching your child. Again, my name is James Pliotti. This is my 12th year in the district. I went to West Virginia University with a business and got a business degree with a my major in marketing, or concentration in marketing, and I took the alternate route to become a business teacher at Fort Lee, which I've started off my first job and still here. I'm also the tech staff developer, which means I kind of teach the teachers technology in different programs. I'm a Google certified trainer and educator. So what does that mean? It means that I'm one of 200 and something people in the country that can teach or train Google products, and has been kind of stamped by Google saying, this guy knows what he's talking about for the most part. A second-year father. You could see this is my daughter right here on our second birthday. My email is here if you need to contact me, and my extension 6529. The email's on the last slide too. So what is this course? What is sports and entertainment management? Basically, we go on an overview of marketing, advertising, and management in the sports and entertainment field specifically. We like to use, or I like to use, Fort Lee High School as our clients and target markets. That was the idea when I wrote this course 5-6 years ago. Now, we might not be making things for Fort Lee High School, meaning we might not be making the advertisements for the play or for sporting events, but when we have class discussions and when we're learning new topics, we always use Fort Lee as kind of the example. The example that I used last night was when students, and I'll do it briefly, when students are selling tickets or selling things in school, I said, where do you usually go? They said, well, outside the cafeteria during lunchtime, during lunch periods. And the way that works is, if I'm working fourth period, when the fourth period bell rings, I go down, set up my station, and sell as people walk by. And I said, well, when do the people walk by? And they said, in between classes. And then they started, the wheels started turning a little bit. And I said, well, where are all the people then? Well, they're already outside or they're in the cafeteria. So they came up with it. I like them to kind of get the answer. They said, well, you're right. We're selling to nobody. The people are either outside or behind us in the cafeteria, so why not sell inside? So that was a neat little discussion we had the other day. We also talk a lot about career opportunities. I had 2 guest speakers last year. I'll talk more about that in a minute. We had more than 2, but 2 that were really kind of powerful with the students. This is a hybrid course. What that means is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during first semester, they meet with me 7th period, and Tuesdays and Thursdays, they go to study hall 7th period. And then semester 2, we flip-flop. So required materials, and you can see I throw my family all over my slides to kind of fill some room. So required materials, 99% of this class is done online with the Chromebook and Google Classroom. So as long as they have a Chromebook with internet access or some device with internet access, they'll be good. And what I mean by that is, let's say they don't bring their Chromebook home. It's not like they're not going to be able to do any work that they need to do. They can do most things from their phone or from any other computer. Headphones. We do a lot of video and things in class, so it can get kind of loud and it can get kind of distracting when we're working on projects and things. So I let the students wear their headphones while they're doing the work, or if they have to listen to something. We don't use them too much, so I say dollar store headphones from across the street are fine. Access to Google Classroom. And management on Google Classroom. So they have to know how to manage their classroom, which we kind of go over in the beginning. all things that they pretty much have already. So our major topics this year, sports and entertainment marketing overview. So this is my little overview. Economics and finance, the functions of marketing, including product and event marketing. Our big thing that we've been drilling since the first day, and we haven't even really gone into it yet. We started with target markets, but the thing I've been drilling every day is the 4 P's of marketing: product, price, place, promotion. That kind of goes along with everything that we do this year, and so does target markets. Those 2 things are basically attached to every project or every kind of lesson we do. We kind of get those 2 topics involved somehow. Even when we talk about, should college athletes be paid? That's a big unit we talk about towards March Madness. We talk about what's the product, the price, place, and promotion. So it's very good to keep that, keep drilling it so they get it. We talk about sponsorships and endorsements, which is basically we talk about a lot about licensing. So what we're working on now is this idea of licensing and sponsorships and endorsements on the entertainment side, and we're looking at these Funko Pops. We're watching actually it's called Making Fun, the story of Funko Pops, and how this company started in Washington State, and it was very small, and it blew up by just these idea of licensing and selling nostalgia, which is a big topic that we really started getting to last year, and it's pretty neat. So you can see right here, this is a copy of an example of one of the projects, first phase of the project that the kids did last year, where they created their own Funko Pops and explained it, and then the Collect Them All Funko Pops were other students in the class. They came into as a group and did this. And again, career development, guest speakers. The 2 the most impactful guest speakers we had last year, one was a former student, Marianne Laurel, who worked for the Knicks Madison Square Garden, the Knicks G League team, and she came in and talked about career opportunities. And we had another speaker, Jackie Goldner, who is interesting. I've known for about 7, 8 years, almost 10 years now. And she started in sports and entertainment management at a company called Crossover, which broke down basketball games. And she was in the sales part. And now she's moved all the way, through the grassroots of basketball and AAU. She's moved now. She's a video producer, kind of a big shot at the House of Hoops, which is part of Bleacher Report. So that was really neat. And one of the things I mentioned last night, and last night I got chills, I'm getting chills again right now, as corny as it sounds. And the final exam, I always ask kind of a bonus question, what was your favorite thing you learned this year? What did the best thing you got out of this class? And I'd say 90% of the female students wrote that the guest speakers were the best, because it taught them, or they saw for real that they could go into this field, a field that's sports and entertainment management that's been predominantly dominated by males. They could go into it and see 2 people succeed so well, especially someone that was literally sitting in the same seat as them less than 7, 8 years ago. So that was awesome. Grading setup. I use the same grading setup that the rest of the school uses, the main kind of school grading setup, where summative assignments and formative assignments. Formative breaks up into 40%, classwork, quizzes, and small projects tests. I don't do any subcategories. I just kind of weight things differently. And summative is the large projects tests, things that we work a lot of time on. So a lot of the formative assessments is classwork, and then most of the summative assessments are projects and things they do in class. There's not a lot of homework, but they all still have that study hall 2 days a week, and then 3 days a week where they can work on things. So classroom rules, biggest thing with the classroom, no food. So Maverick is not following the rules right now. My daughter's name is Maverick, and yes, she is named after Tom Cruise's character from Top Gun. We have kids with allergies. We don't want to invite any bugs into the class. They're not guest speakers. I'm terrible at jokes, lots of dad jokes. But my number 1 thing in class is, or I guess number 2 thing, 1A, 1B, 1A, no food. 1B is respect. Respect one another, respect the classroom, respect me. We're all in this class to kind of learn about something new. I don't think anyone in the class has taken a sports and entertainment management course before. Some might not have even signed up for it, but by the end, if you saw in that first slide, those were all comments. If you go back to that first slide, those are all comments from former students on how much they enjoyed the course or what they enjoyed the course about. So and we're very open in the class. We have a lot of discussion, so it's big that we respect everyone and ourselves. That's a big thing too. So our attendance policy, my attendance policy, basically every day a student is absent, they have that amount of days to make up work. Everything's on Google Classroom. Every assignment I do is, I'd say 99.9% of the assignments we do in class are on Google Classroom and on Genesis. When I grade something on Genesis, I like to add comments to the parent part, parent comments for parents, which most of the times the kids can see too. I'd say most of the time, again, I add a comment, especially if the student didn't get full points, like they didn't get 100. I kind of put why they did not, or if something's late and they get a 12 out of 15 because something's late or a part of it's missing. I'll probably put a comment that says you have until this day to submit everything for full credit. And if a student is absent for an extended period of time, I'll work with them, their guidance counselor, to make sure that they're able to make up any missed work in a timely fashion. Again, most things are on Google Classroom. They can do it, at home if it's like an illness or something. I say to the kids, you can take this class at the same time as we take 7th period. There could be a kid in Nevada taking this class, and for the most part, it would work because we do so many things collaboratively and online, and even the guest speakers was done through Skype, and except for Marianne came in, but Jackie was done through Skype. So we're very tech forward, even though this presentation didn't work yesterday. It's Google Classroom info. A lot of information on the slide. Basically, they have the class code. I have the summaries turned on, the Guardian summaries. You must receive and accept an email invitation to be part of these summaries. Some are automatically already in there, some aren't. And only teachers and administrators of the course they're teaching can send you these invitations. So if you're not receiving the summaries from our class and you would like to, just contact me. But if you're not receiving summaries from English or math, there's nothing I can do about that. I can only kind of control my classes. And examples of this are on the next slide. So these summaries would break down what your student or your child is missing, what's coming up, and everything is separated by class, which is neat. There's a link here on the bottom. If you click on this link or go to this link, it'll take you to the Google Classroom for Guardians homepage, and you'll see these same examples and some more information there. After school help, students need after school help or help during the day. They know what periods, or I post what periods I'm available for the most part, unless I'm busy doing something else. And I don't mean busy just sitting at my desk. I mean, doing the tech staff developing, or I forgot to mention, I'm also the testing coordinator. So that's PSATs and JSLA, GSB Park. So as long as I'm not doing, if I'm in my room, I'm going to help them. On Thursdays, I'll stay later if I need to. Even later, I'll stay later on Thursdays, but I'll stay even later if I need to. Email policy for parents and students. I know it's written there, but I'll kind of break it down much easier. I get back to people via email as soon as I can. If it's during the day and you email me at 11 o'clock in the morning, if it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and you haven't received some kind of response from me, that means it must be a crazy day. I try my best to get back to people, students, faculty, parents, quickly, even if it's just to say, I got your email, I received your email, I'll get back to you soon. If it's after school, 3, 4 o'clock, I might not see the email till the following morning, but again, I'm going to email by 8, 9 o'clock the next morning. Again, even if it's just to say, I have see your email, I'll get back to you, later today, or if I get it at night, I might say I'll get back to you in the morning with more information. But I'd like to keep the communication open. That's all I have. I know I talked pretty fast, but information is very important to me to get out to the parents, and I felt bad, especially last night, that the tech guy, one of the tech guys, couldn't get the tech to work. So it's very important for me to get this out, and please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And again, for the last time, you'll see this hopefully in your lives, is this link right here for your parent info. Don't forget, guys, you're awesome. You're the most awesome people. As a father now for 2 years, I could see how hard it is being a parent. I can't imagine when my daughter's ready for high school. I don't even want to think about that. Okay, so have a great day, and I look forward to having a great year. Thanks.